guys, it's Kanan.
It's Jesse.
And we are the Geeky Sane Couple, and today we are doing our RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 5 overview / analysis video. Before we start, got two announcements. One is kind of a somber. For anyone that's been on YouTube a lot or the internet a lot, it's a very sad day because, sadly, we lost Little Bub today. We came across Little Bub
several years
ago, and I had never seen such a more adorable cat in all my life.
That exceeded her own life expectations.
Yeah,
with all
very
that she
much.
had wrong.
We read the post about it. Apparently this was unexpected. She did pass away peacefully in her sleep. It's just really sad because now the world's a less beautiful place now without her in it.
I'm gonna cry again.
don't cry. Just our thoughts are with the family and all that, and everyone else that Little Bub touched the hearts of, and she will be missed. Okay, to more happy notes. So Chapter 5 was a very long episode, almost 20 minutes.
So much happened.
Like, there was so much that I was like, oh my gosh, there's still a lot, like 15 minutes to go, and we've gotten so much so quickly. I think even in our reaction, we couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
It's like I was so flabbergasted by, like, Team Funky coming back that I actually called them Team Flint, I think, in the reaction. Which, because it just happened, so it was like, boom, it was there. So this is going to be a pretty lengthy video. I'm going to try and get through it fast, because I've got to go to work in about an hour. So go use the bathroom, get you a snack, get you a drink.
This is going to be a long video.
Yeah, so pause it, bathroom break, snacks. Hope you got some good snacks. Drink, I won't judge if it's alcoholic or soda or water. Just go get you some. We've got water too because we're going to be doing a lot of talking. Okay, so I have no idea what slides you got because there's so many. We've been kind of lazy this weekend. And Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Yesterday was my only day off this week, so I wanted to be lazy. Our Chapter 4 reaction did get unblocked though, so go watch that. All right, let's get to it. That was a pretty fastly intro on mine. This is the first one you took?
No. There we go.
Okay. So I think a little bit still happened before all this. Like I said, so much happened in this episode that it was really, really, really hard to keep up. And this episode, this time they did go on some missions and all that, but it was all kind of like a montage, a really, really fast montage of showing them on a...
So much. It showed so much. Like... That's why there's so many slides.
Yeah. So, one thing I like to note about this particular scene is everybody's wondering why Blake and Ruby are sleeping on top of their comforters instead of under them. And, of course, the joke's going around that they both Ruby snuck into Weiss's bunk and Blake snuck into Yang's bunk, and they quickly got back down before it was time to get up. Though, I don't know about that, because Penny does kind of surprise them by waking them up so early. Also, this confirms that the Chapter 2 subtitles were wrong. It wasn't every teen, it was every teen. So they're back in bunk beds, though very cold-looking room, because it is Atlas. They've got new PJs.
Which look very comfortable, and I want them.
And apparently Weiss sleeps in her braid. That can't be comfortable. Then again, I'd hate to have to do that braid every single day.
I slept in braids.
That big, though?
No.
Like, that's the size of her, almost the size of her whole upper part of her body. So, yeah.
The look on everybody's face.
Yeah, which I'm not a morning person, so I feel this.
Except at cons, apparently.
Well, yeah. For some reason at conventions, I get up automatically.
Got up before me.
Yeah, Yang is definitely me. Like, I just do not like mornings at all. So, did they go out of order?
Yeah, that one was just misplaced.
Okay. You really need to do better.
Hey.
So we get to see a little bit more of the room. Yeah, just very cold. Like, it just looks cold to me. Like, it's aesthetic and that it would be freezing there. I don't know. Their room at Beacon was so much better. So everybody just does not want to get up, and I don't blame them.
And then there's Ruby.
Then there's Ruby. Yeah, Ruby is raring to go. So I love this
so
because
much.
I'm sure everybody that has a dog knows that if you walk into the room with any kind of food or even a drink, really, they will stare at you and give you that look like, that's mine, right? Like, you're going to give me some of that, right?
Luna has this down,
and in reality, we're usually like, go on, this isn't for you. You quit begging. You're not going to get any of this. And then there's people like John who give in, and he does give he does give Marrow his coffee, which
he's just like, here.
Despite what Harriet said in the last episode, I don't think Marrow's like her in the least.
I really don't think so either. But let's face it, also with the dog, they could be sleeping,
yeah.
and all of a sudden they're awake. That's mine, right?
Yep.
I loved this. It was funny. It just makes me think, well, this is probably what he did when he was starting out or even in school.
Yeah. Sleeping on missions. Ruby wakes him up. Then we see a little bit of Weiss and Ruby action. Them clearing out some Grimm for some airships.
I had to capture that.
Yeah, and then we get the cute thing that Nora is the one that does Ren's braid, which, I mean, this is practically from the merch that's supposed to come out of Renora. They've still not released it for some reason. You figure they would have because of this scene right here, but maybe there's something bigger coming for them. Okay, we have got to talk about this scene. I loved Aaron's reaction to this scene, pretty much telling Marrow to go fuck off. Marrow points, and like, okay, there was a post. Did you get the whole scene?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get to it in a minute. But this is pretty much Marrow saying, "Hey, I've noticed you two are always together. Ever thought about branching out a little?" And they both already look really, really annoyed, like that they don't want his opinion, really.
That look now at this point goes, okay, this this is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's to the point where it seems like Yang even gets mad at the thought of her and Blake splitting up. Because, let's face it, that's part of their story together. Yang's abandonment issues and how she dealt with Blake leaving, and Blake promising that she would never leave again. Which, she did mean the whole team and her friends, but it also...
meant she's also, outside of being together, but that's her partner.
Yeah. But, I mean, she also, she technically did promise that she would never leave Yang's side again. And so they destroy this Grimm, a really cool-looking Grimm. I love this. The Ember Silica, also with the gold on a Gamble Shroud. Go back. You can definitely tell now that it is the matching color. It is the exact same color.
So whatever was used to make the Ember Silicas is the exact same metal that was used for that.
Now, they both give Marrow this very annoyed look, like, you were saying, because he did mention that he didn't think their styles would gel, and you really wouldn't, because, Yang's a brawler, and Blake has kind of got this, like, ninja style, in a way, with Gamble Shroud, that, because of the ribbon, she can throw it.
And
it's also
it's
a katana.
two-handed, so, as well.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think they would, but Blake and Yang, outside of their romantic relationship that's building, they've always gelled so well. Even when they first became partners in Volume 1,
they just kind of clicked.
Yes, and they've always been able to be maybe not as well oiled as the Aesops altogether, but just as a two-person team, they've
learned each other's.
Yeah, they are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a couple of jokes since this aired. People have pointed out that this kind of parallels a scene from Book 3 of Legend of Korra, of Korra and Asami looking at Mako and Bolin kind of annoyed and all
Yeah.
that when they looked at each other. Because Yang's got her arms crossed and all that. And they're both kind of raising their eyebrows. And then I saw an amazing Tumblr post of someone saying that they think that this was a subtle way of RWBY rubbing it in the face of the Bumblebee haters that, yeah, this ain't going away. So quit whining. I really hope is.
I think that sense of how that all the stuff with Korra ended. I think that they drew inspiration from that, and
yeah, I'm starting to think Miles and Carrie are Avatar fans. So, and because there's a few parallels between Korrasami and Bumblebee just in this volume alone. But Meryl backs down. He's like, okay, yeah, good stuff. Keep it up, you two.
This, I have to say, this episode though, like, it just makes me love him even more.
You're going to cry if he does.
Yes, I'm going to, because he's become such a favorite of mine.
If Marrow is different than the other four in that he does believe in friendship and all that and being friends, because I mean
he's a dog.
Well, I mean, out of all of them, he has shown the more care for his other teammates than they have for him, because all they do is pick on him in a way, which, I mean, yeah, he's the rookie member, he's the runt of the litter, as you would say, but out of any of them, I could see maybe Marrow being the sole survivor, maybe.
Oh.
And then we get to see John's little preschool mission, and we finally get to see the thirsty mom. Oh, poor John. And
another casserole.
Yeah, apparently. Like, I could just see everybody back at like where they're staying be like, where are you getting all these casseroles?
He's probably, they won't stop.
It looks good. It looks like it's a good casserole. And like, God, poor Sean, because John's not the ladies. Like, it's so funny because he used to, like, I was about to say he's not exactly a ladies' man, but he used to think he was. Like in the early volume.
Like in the beginning, when he said, he goes, the ladies love it.
Yeah, and now.
Now look.
He's getting attention from all these older women, and he just doesn't know what to do about it. And then Nora says,
it's totally there.
Yeah.
It probably is, because it makes him look older. I mean... Yeah.
Ladies love the banana hair. And then we get a little cute sister moment. So, Yang definitely did go on a mission with RWBY. And Blake probably went on a mission with Weiss.
And then another sister moment.
Yeah, another sister moment. Good little sister moment. Weiss finally showing Winter that she has gained her ability to summon, and even though she doesn't look at Weiss and show it, she's proud of her sister. Then we get to see, yes, the thing in the intro definitely was Ironwood and Oscar training. So they're trying to they're trying to, I guess, make Oz come back through combat, which I don't think just simple training is going to do that, because Oz has only came back when they, like, in dire straits, like when he helped Oscar with the airship.
I don't think he's, like, because he was saying either, we're going to try to jog him loose. Well, it's not so much, I don't think he's trying to get him out by fighting with him. He's like, obviously trying to train to see where he's come, how far he's come, probably strengthen him, but try to see if maybe there's a way that the stronger he gets, if he can actually
But this also pushes the narrative that Oscar's going to bond with Ironwood, and he's probably gonna be the one to spill the beans to Ironwood. Then we get some more training. It's Vine and John, and Vine gives John the idea of extending his aura, in which it shows that John is like,
Yeah, like he hadn't really thought of that.
A little training between Elm and Ren gets wrecked. Like, oh, thank goodness for an aura, because that was...
Because the one thing that you see is, like, that was said was you choose the type of huntsman that you want to be. Well, it kind of shows that Ren, even gets thrown out, and he goes, okay, again.
Yeah,
he just gets up and keeps going.
Then we see a cute little, like, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a race, but just some training between Harriet and Ruby, and Weiss is using her glyphs. I
It looks
guess
like she's
maybe
dancing on them, but yeah.
but it looks like they're only appearing under Ruby, so maybe she's trying to give Ruby an advantage, maybe, or maybe they're trying to find a way that,
Well,
since they are partners, that Weiss could enhance Ruby's speed.
it kind of, if you've noticed though, yeah, that is a possibility. But whenever we see them fight, and Ruby does this with Weiss around, if she's trying to go a specific direction, Weiss uses her glyphs, and Ruby's like pretty much whatever she does, like especially when she's like this, she can't really, you can't exactly direct in a straight circle over and over again. She's kind of keeping her on track.
I wonder
too.
if this is also going back to what Harriet said about Ruby's semblance being something different, and they're trying to
see what it can do, pretty much.
Yeah.
That I just got another shot of that because you can see now Ruby's just starting to go ahead of her.
Yeah, which some people said, oh, Harriet's on the inner circle, so of course she's got an advantage. But I don't think they're like seriously racing. I mean, because the others are watching.
More training.
Yeah, so this is cute. We see Weiss sleepily brushing her teeth, and
I have every moment of this.
okay,
so.
so that was cute. Ruby is the only one that is like
flailing around and excited.
And she's like wanting to tell Penny all these stories. Yang is still tired. Blake looks like Blake is walking off to the bathroom, and she turns around, stops, grabs Yang by the arm, and leads her to the bathroom. And it's just like, okay, so Blake wants Yang to go to the bathroom with her. Like, I mean, it's not to use it. It's just like,
okay, come on, you can't stand there anymore.
Well, I mean, but it's the fact, if they're, like, Blake could have easily just went without her, to brush her teeth, wash her face, whatever. But she wants Yang to join her. And I'm sorry, people. I mean, this is couple activity, okay? People have already even said they're already acting like a couple. So
we've done similar things, and it's usually me dragging you around. So, but that's what I'm saying is it's like, the couple thing. I say, come on, you can't stand there anymore.
Yeah.
Let's go get you awake.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was really
But
cute.
I liked and everything. Ruby's got some big,
she's
motion of a story that she's telling.
Yeah. And,
this was cute.
Yeah. John bringing Mara his own cup of coffee. So,
the eyes. Those are happy puppy eyes.
So, really, already, I mean, like I've said in the past, what the Aesops put Marrow through was kind of, putting him through his paces, letting him earn his stripes, kind of like a hazing thing. Not negative hazing, but like he's the newest member, so of course they're going to pick on him. But Team RWBY, well, I don't know. Blake and Yang have kind of both already shown that they kind of get annoyed with him. But Team Junior, Jean, Nora, and Ren have kind of, Jean in particular, have showed him this kindness, so maybe he will start bonding with them. And maybe he'll become the fourth member. It's been, Penny, Oscar, now people are talking like Marrow might become the fourth member of their team because he's already shown this bonding with Jean. I think it's cute, Nora sleeping on John's shoulder and Ren looking at her smiling. So another little subtle Renora thing. Now this little whole thing was cute. Now, okay.
I have every scene of that too.
So, as me and Jess have said, we do like White Rose, but as far as the in-show canon, we just do not see it happening because it doesn't have any build-up yet, romantically. Friendship, oh yes, very close friendship, but until something overtly romantic happens between these two, I can't really get behind it yet.
Don't get us wrong, we do like the ship.
Yes. It's just
it's adorable.
It's just I can't get excited for what happens just because there's nothing there yet.
It's very cute though. But
now the other two, okay, so I even made a post on Twitter about this. Yang is not sitting like a straight.
No.
And people have even pointed this out. This is very gay energy the way Yang is sitting. And plus, she does subtly have her arm around Blake. I mean, I'm sorry. This is the whole stretch, put your arm around the person you like, to test the waters. Which Blake looks kind of out of it still. So
they're all looking different directions.
And this one, Yang's kind of like, that didn't work.
RWBY is the only one.
that is not showing any kind of fatigue. Yang kind of looks like she kind of knows her arm trick failed. Like, well, try again later or something. Now they're real like
They're just wearing down. RWBY's just so
yeah
like everyone else is getting
yeah
over it.
yeah. So yeah, Weiss leans against RWBY because she's tired, and I mean people do that. Um, I'm just wondering if Blake started like that and then she just slumped over. But go ahead. And then we have this is really cute.
Yes.
Okay, so there's several meanings here. The team leaning on their leader, that's definitely something that is going on here. Um, Yang and RWBY are sisters, so of course the big sister leaning on the little sister. It is kind of symbol. It is kind of a symbolism that RWBY. Yes, RWBY is the leader, and for that part of the fandom that for some reason thinks that Yang needs to baby RWBY all the time, RWBY is pretty much an adult now. She's the leader. She doesn't need Yang to protect her 24/7. But you've also got Blake laying in Yang's lap, which I have always wanted to see. I just wish she was playing with her hair or playing with her ears or something. And Yang's got that arm over her. And someone made note that in real life, cats sleep where they feel the most safe and comfortable. And if your cat sleeps in your lap, it's the biggest compliment you can have because they feel like in your lap is the safest place for them. So, I mean...
And it's very true.
Yeah, though we still don't know how far the animal traits go as far as
But have you noticed
behavior.
they do pull some of the things?
Yeah,
like
they do.
The jump thing. But the other thing, because I've even had... That's why you'll see things on the internet, like a cat sitting in their lap or something. I've been chosen, and you don't want to move them,
Yeah, and some people have said, God, that looks awfully uncomfortable. How can Blake lay like that? If you've ever watched a cat sleep, it's very uncomfortable looking, but apparently they like it. Now,
it's hard to see because we don't know just how far back those chairs, like the seat of those chairs, are either. And if you're tired enough, you can fall asleep like that. I have fallen asleep like that. It does not feel good when you get up, but it is possible.
But yeah, it's just kind of like, because here's the thing. Yes, Weiss is leaning against RWBY, but the way Blake and Yang are, it's a little bit more intimate. I mean, Blake is literally sleeping in her lap, and Yang has got her arm over her. So, yeah. And someone noticed that as the scene fades out, it's really hard to capture.
I don't have the slide in here, but I did manage to catch it at least and send it to you. But...
Yeah, RWBY looks over at Blake and Yang and gives this little knowing smile, kind of like she did at the end of Volume 6. And we finally get... Now, like I said, it just came out of nowhere in such a way that it caught me off guard. I accidentally called them Team Flint, but we get to see Team Funky again.
And now across Twitter, we're learning where Flint and Neon came from.
Yeah.
Memes.
Yeah.
That should have been... It clicked as soon as someone posted about that.
Now definitely
cat.
out of the two, Neon has got the most changes. Flint just looks like he just changed his outfit, but not only has Neon changed her outfit, she's wearing her hair in a different style,
which look like kitty ears.
Yeah. She still leaves the rainbow behind. Still does her roller skates, which everyone figured we would see them since we were going to be in Atlas. So it is really nice to see them again. We also get to see. Well, she's
I loved that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's still the same as she was in Volume 3.
I have to say another thing, since with this whole volume so far, that is very anime-like.
Yeah.
Usagi does that a lot to Mars. Which we'll get to that subject later.
Yeah. Now, I love that she, just like she tried to make Yang angry, she is...
Just baiting her.
Yeah, she's trying to bait Nora. Now, we learn a few things in this whole sequence.
I've got that, too.
Okay. So, here we go. Neon calls Ren Nora's boyfriend. If there are still people out there denying Renora, you can't anymore.
No,
I mean,
you
they
can't.
they've been canon since Volume 4, and this just um, solidifies it even more. So yeah, Renora is a thing. So here we finally get to see Nora's upgrade. She is riding her hammer like a broom.
I loved this. Because she just gets so pissed, she just hops on it. There she goes.
Yeah, it was, and we see
Oscar.
Yes, Oscar is training with them, so Oscar might become the next member. I mean, there's so many candidates, but it is nice seeing Team Funky train with them. I really would have liked to have seen them train with Team RWBY, just because to see what Neon would say to Yang,
Yeah.
and maybe Blake get jealous or something, which that could happen next episode since they have some downtime finally. But
Yeah, I got every one of this.
Okay.
'Cause everywhere she turns,
yeah,
there's somebody there.
yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, here comes Nora, and Neon has a black eye, which I
Though-
think goes away like the next.
like as soon as she gets excited, because in the last one, remember, she was defeated. She was dull, and her color
Yeah.
went away. But then she got excited, and everything changed.
Yeah, I think it also has to do with her aura.
Yeah.
So we finally get to see the other two members of Team Funky, which some people have kind of complained that their looks are a little bland, which they kind of are, but I just don't think they were ever meant to be like as important as Neon and Flint. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, just some friendly banter. And Neon flirts with Oscar, which is kind of funny. And now they're talking about going out to lunch.
Food, and Nora's already imagining.
Yeah, this
What
giant
she can
sandwich.
eat.
Yeah. But sadly, duty calls. Yeah, and he says next time you guys are free, let us know. Which that might be next episode, hopefully.
And I got all of them.
Yep. Now we got to go to the next. Yeah, you kind of. I should not leave you in charge of this. That's all.
There we go.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No,
where the
when
heck
I
did you
hit
go?
when I set the hotkeys, it reversed them for some reason. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just.
There's still time for sandwiches. No.
Now here came like besides like the whole Blake and Yang stuff earlier and all that and all the training and getting to see Team Funky, this starts a like probably the slowest part of the episode, like because everything else was just like boom, 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 all this stuff happening at once. This is where we finally slow down a little bit. Ruby's complaining that they're having to take all the supplies to the arena by truck, and so it's just
long supply runs. And
yeah.
Penny's just, well, at least it's scenic.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah. We get two little penguins.
Though I will say it is pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, also coming from here, where the drive I used to take to work, you had a huge view of the mountains, and it is pretty. But sometimes you just want to get wherever you need to.
So, during this whole thing, we do. Is it a talk with Crow and Clover first, or is it Ruby and Penny that?
Ruby and Penny talk first.
Okay, did you get any of that? Yeah. Okay, so we finally get sort of a one-on-one talk between. Now this was cute. This is a kind of cute nuts and bolts thing. So we finally get our first little taste of a one-on-one between Penny and Ruby. But there was one part where it seemed Ruby was going to talk about what happened and and all that, but she kind of avoids it. It's almost like she doesn't want to talk about what happened with Penny, which is understandable. Like I said, ever since people complained about Chapter 1 and Ruby not having this huge breakdown or a bigger reaction, people deal with stuff differently. And one of the things about Ruby we've always noticed is she keeps stuff bottled up. And I don't know, just during this whole conversation, it seemed like she was avoiding bringing up certain topics.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think she wants to confront that right now. And she asked, have you been able to make new ones? And Yeah, that Iron.
saying that she doesn't. General Ironwood had said she doesn't have time for friends.
Yeah, so
but
she's not even part of a team anymore.
But she, then she goes on to say that, she wants to be able to do the things she needs to, but she also wants to do what she wants to do.
And
so
that's something that Penny always had. This is kind of going back to Volume 2. And Ruby was the one who started, like, making her think that way. So, now we get some more Crow and Clover moments. And
clearly pissed that he keeps
losing. Yeah.
And then just shut up and deal.
So Crow's obviously not doing too well against a guy who has
good luck
as a semblance. So we learned something which has kind of been hinted at and we kind of already knew, but it's finally officially confirmed in the show. And as we see, Crow has definitely gave up drinking.
Well, I like how Clover says, well, that's not good for you. You shouldn't do that. Oh, I don't do that anymore. I gave it up.
Yeah, so yes, Crow is now officially sober, which is great. We'll actually get to see, and we've been pointing this out since Chapter 3. The Crow that we've known since then has always been in a drunken haze, in a way. Now we get to see Crow as he really is.
And probably as he used to be.
Yeah.
Like when he was a part of his own team. That, and another thing I noticed, because the whole lucky playing cards thing, well,
yeah.
Apparently Clover's got those too, so, because the symbol on them.
Yeah. And he actually says that he technically wasn't talking about drinking, it's just that Crow doesn't know how to take compliments. And this is still kind of pushing Lucky Charms in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah.
And that was the response.
Yeah, like Crow even has kind of a shy response in a way. It's like, oh boy, they're... And...
Seeing that the road's blocked off and all, but I thought this was funny because she goes, okay, I will plan for 6 possible outcomes.
Yep.
And that's the look she gets. She just sits there, okay, and everyone's just like...
It's funny. I love Penny. So
and
we
here we go.
finally get to meet Robin Hill. And as I said in my reaction, I am in love. Oh my gosh.
And this goes back to what I was saying about the little gesture from Neon being very Usagi and Rei-like. Well, and I tried to cut it out in the video. I was very tired. I kept saying Venus. No. It's Mars, and I know this, but when you're tired, the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, but I would say Christina, and yes, this is the character Christina V voices for RWBY. I would still say she's not exactly doing Mars, because if you ask me, she gave Robin kind of a sultry way of talking.
It does.
But
I hear the hints of it. The same thing with Rachel Robinson and Fang. So.
But it's sultry, but still strong and confident. But we get to see our cute little lamb faunus again. I still think she's a lamb, not a cow. But yeah, our first finally getting to see her in the episode. And gosh, she's just so lovely. She's playing cute, Are You Lost? But this whole interaction between her and Clover, they've obviously met, and there's a line she says that I don't know if you got it, but when we get there, we will. This whole interaction, yeah, they're playing around each other, but it's also very tense. Like, this could go bad at the drop of a hat. And she calls
Pipsqueak.
Yeah, she
and
calls
5 o'clock Shadow.
Yeah, she calls RWBY Pipsqueak and Crow 5 o'clock Shadow, which is kind of funny. And RWBY almost tells her, I think. Yeah, well, she tries to let her know that she does, and this is the thing, RWBY does want to help Mantle.
They all do.
Yeah.
But then she's cut off by Clover.
Yeah. So she doesn't give away too much, because, this is a confidential military operation. So things start to boil over, and Robin says something, and it kind of perks my interest. She says to Clover, "I thought of all people you would be straight with me." So many have been theorizing that maybe Robin was Clover's partner at Atlas Academy. And then there's also the whole, theory that Robin was part of Winter's team because, Team Winter, she would be the R. I personally just want Robin and Winter to meet. If they've not met before, if they haven't met before, I want to see them on screen together because, yes, I am going to push that if Robin is Robin Hood, then Winter needs to be her maid Marian. But this whole interaction does she's very Robin Hood like.
Yeah, because it was hinted at. You could tell that they were gonna steal from them.
Yeah, because Penny comes out and announces that there are two other huntresses behind the truck, and here they are.
And they just appear.
Yeah. So very Robin Hood and the Merry Men like they were literally going to take whatever they had. Which, yeah, kind of is not a good look for a woman that is running for a council seat. But she's doing it. She's doing it for the right reasons.
Yes.
She wants to help Mantle and feels like Ironwood and the Atlas military are just completely ignoring the problems. Which later in this episode, okay. She calls Penny out because Penny is supposed to be the protector of Mantle. Penny said that in chapter 1. And you can see that really affects Penny, because Penny knows Robin is right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It makes you wonder what is going to eventually happen with Penny. Is she going to get hacked by Watson? Or whenever, because we all know it's coming, Team RWBY is going to do something, is going to go against orders at some point. Is she going to be forced to fight them because General Ironwood tells her so? Or is she going to have this dilemma between, going against her friends and what she's supposed to be doing, which is protecting Mantle, which apparently she's not exactly doing right now because she's helping Ironwood? And is it going to maybe, in a way, going back to Penny being based off Pinocchio, is she even though yes, Penny has a soul, she's alive and all that, but she still technically has those strings. Will she finally cut those strings that's keeping her back? But then we get she does allow them to pass through. Because Clover does make a point that, she does need to focus more on getting her council seat than trying to...
the one slide that got mixed in, what he said, hey, Robin, good luck on the election.
Yeah.
And you can tell, he meant it.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to give, maybe he was trying to use his semblance to give her good luck. Then you get this scene right here where, she vows that she is going to find out what they're up to. And, I'm rooting for her. I of course want her to beat Jacques, but I just have a feeling Team RWBY is going to team up with them. They are going to go against Ironwood's orders and help the Happy Huntresses. I just got a feeling. So now we get some Weiss and Winter training, them using their summons against each other. And here's Winter giving Weiss some, compliments, in her way.
In her way, saying, why see this, your sloppiness. Well, but you've made it your own.
Yeah.
And I think I did get it. Oh, yeah, that was very close to a compliment. It wasn't meant that way, is what she defends herself with.
And it's funny because when we last saw them together on screen, not counting the Chapter 5, and this goes with what I'm about to say, not counting the Chapter 5 character short, because that character short took place before Weiss went to Beacon. When we last saw them together, Weiss was still relying on the family name. She still couldn't summon, and she was still, as the caterpillar shown in that scene in Volume 3, she was still just the caterpillar that hadn't bloomed yet into a butterfly yet. And this whole scene, how she is kind of being snarky with Winter a little bit. She's not being as
Guarded and
yeah,
like proper. She's
yeah.
just
Which Winter notes, you've grown up, and that's the thing that almost everyone in the fandom has been saying. Weiss, from Volume 1 to now, has had the most character development probably out of anyone in the entire show. I mean, yeah, people say Ruby hasn't had much development. She has. I mean, Yang has developed. Blake has developed. Crow is definitely developing.
yeah.
But Weiss has almost went full circle in her story. Yeah, and she says, her father's view no longer matches hers, which is good. Which, I mean, even when we first met Weiss, she was already defiant of her father. Um, and she goes on how she would like them to do things, which kind of pushes more toward maybe still her story of possibly taking over the SDC.
Yeah, well, also when Winter had said, pretty much in her way how proud she is of her, and then she's sure that Ironwood would have a place for her, and she said, as much as she'd like it, she'd turn it down, because she wants to do more, which goes with what you just said. And she wants to do more, and now we've got this.
Yes, she says that Ironwood is doing what he thinks is right, but without Weiss looking, she gives this look like
she's not sure she believes that.
That Winter might have some doubts herself, which is interesting in what we learn later in this episode. So yeah, just more and more of the sisters talking, which really shows how much different they think than other Shnees,
And she's said about the secret things, and Winter said, well, he's not keeping secrets from me.
Yeah.
And I very few, but I saw posts about, well, they thought that it was going to go this direction. Like, well, when you think he's not keeping secrets, okay, well, what's going on then? Like,
yeah, and Weiss even challenges that. And every time I see this building that they're in, it gives me chills because it just reminds me of hospitals. And I hate hospitals. I said that in our reaction. It just, God.
I don't like them either, so.
It just looks like the whole place has that sterile new car smell. So here we get to see the Winter Maiden. And I'm going to go, okay, so it's so funny in our reaction. It both kind of dawned on us at the same time it dawns on Weiss.
Yeah.
Go back. Okay, so there is okay, so I can't really talk about this now without. Okay, never mind. I can't really talk about it until we get through the whole scene. But it's just okay. There's some pictures in the background people have talked about that signifies who this woman might be. Okay, we know she's the Winter Maiden. Plus, I believe her name is Freya.
Yeah.
And that goes with this. Also, her hairstyle. So just keep going. Yeah, because look at her hairstyle. And what's exactly going on here? Winter is building a relationship with her, getting close to her. Because, and that'll be shown here in a slide. So so this woman, even though she looks fine, and we even see the transferring pods in the back, that still makes you just think of Kara.
There's her name. I'm the only person Freya is allowed to see.
Yes, and there is a reason for that. And
it paused on us because it was loading because of our internet, the wind that day. But
the moment
we kind of hit it. It hit realization too.
That Winter is going to be the next Winter Maiden. Now, in the reaction, I was like, oh my gosh, they've planned this since the beginning because of her name, Winter, the Winter Maiden, of course. So yeah, she's the only one allowed to see her because they want the Winter Maiden to think of Winter when she passes. That way the power will pass to Winter. And then Weiss points out, Ironwood's taking control of your life. He's made every decision for you.
She asked, doesn't it bother you? And she's, well, it did at first when he proposed it to her. But obviously things have changed. She's really looked into it a bit more for herself. And said that she feels that it would be good for Atlas.
Yeah. she's still kind of thinking of Atlas more over herself. Um, so the thing is that it for the whole Winter Maiden section? I just want to make sure before. Okay.
But she's saying now at this point where apparently because they've probably had this maiden for a long time at this point now, and she's saying that at first it started off as this, but now she's pretty much taken everything and made it her own.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's made this more her thing and not for anybody else. She has obviously other reasons now that she wants this.
Okay, so theory time. Just leave it here because it goes into Jacques' speech here, man. And that's a completely different topic. So some theories flying around. So I've seen some people say, of course, Cinder became a Fall Maiden because her last name is Fall. Though from what we've heard, that may not technically be her real last name.
I don't think it is.
And of course, Winter, the Winter Maiden. But I'm sorry, to me, that is way too freaking predictable. We learned in Volume 3, when it comes to the Maiden transfer powers, that they're going to throw curves somewhere. They're setting this up for something to go wrong. I'm sorry.
And since Cinder took the other one, I highly doubt that something like that is going to happen again.
Yeah. So here's the tea. Winter becoming the Winter Maiden is way too predictable. It's way too safe. Because we know things are going to go bad at some point. I think there's a chance that Robin may become the Winter Maiden because she may know this woman. We don't know yet. But the biggest theory now going around is that this woman is Nora's grandmother. Now, the only time we have heard about Nora's grandmother is RWBY Chibi. But, yes, RWBY Chibi is not canon, but RWBY Chibi has foreshadowed stuff that's happened in the real show. And Nora brought up her grandmother and how crazy strong her grandmother is. The name Freya actually has a meaning in Norse mythology, which we all know Nora is based off Thor. So that would fit. Her hairstyle, the spiky hairstyle toward the back of her head, matches Nora's. We've also been told that we will get Nora's backstory this volume. So,
and for her to be introduced now.
Yeah, it's kind of
it kind of does fit.
Yeah, and so Nora may be from Atlas. And which it's weird, but then again, she's never mentioned it, but she may not remember.
I mean, she was alone, so something could have happened. Like I said, we need that backstory to confirm a lot of this stuff.
She could have been abandoned when she was a baby and raised by somebody else, and then something happened to them, and she ended up on the streets. Who knows?
Or she got separated from her.
And someone mentioned one of the posters on the background matches something that could be related to Nora, but I don't remember exactly. But I am very up on the camp that she's more than likely Nora's grandmother. Does that mean Nora is going to become the Winter Maiden? I hope not.
Yeah.
But, and everybody thinks that Team RWBY is going to become the next Maidens, but once again, I think that's way too cliche. Because, Raven being the Spring Maiden, so everybody thinks that if Raven dies, it's going to go to Yang, but Raven wouldn't want that on Yang, so I don't see her, if she does die, her pushing that on Yang. So because we don't know who else is in Raven's life. There could be a ton of people that Raven could pass on to, but also I don't think Raven's going to die.
I don't either. That's another thing. It's oh well, it's only a matter of time. No, I really don't think she's going to.
There's more ways to be redeemed than redeemed through death.
Yes, and there's a lot of people that'll say, well, she's a maiden, and obviously look what happens to them at some point. No, she's not going to die.
No, I don't think so. I think the reason why they had her go back to Tai at the end of Volume 5 is after her interactions with Yang, the fact that she shed a tear over what she did to Yang and all that, I think she went back to Tai to try to make things up.
Yes, and also going with the thing that we saw about her in bird form yelling at Ruby in the comics. Okay,
which yes, the comics are canon.
You have to understand something. It doesn't mean, because I've seen people, oh well, obviously she didn't care about Summer. No, we don't know that. For one, they were a team regardless of how Raven acted or how she took off. She did care about her team at one point in time, but anger, sarcasm, guilt, it's, but anger and sarcasm, the way she acts, her attitude, that is a cover.
Yeah.
People use that to cover those emotions. Obviously, we saw that at the end when she shed that tear talking to Yang. I mean, her walls are cracking. She's getting to the point where her anger and her sarcasm, even towards her own daughter, isn't going to last.
Yeah.
And that leads me to really believe that Raven regrets a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guilt and regret there, and I really believe that it's never going to be a perfect relationship ever again, but she wants ties, to her daughter, better ones, on better terms.
Which is why I still think that's the reason why she went to Ty at the end of Volume 5. She's
starting with that, so...
We've not seen it yet.
I really believe that this anger also could stem, Summer's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody know, and obviously now we know nobody knows where she went. So this could be something that truly bothers her.
Yeah.
Because she would know. That would be a tie that she has, and obviously something happened where she can't get to that anymore.
Yep, so that's my theory, that something's going to go wrong. Winter's not going to become the Winter Maiden. Somebody else will. Will it be Robin? Who knows? I mean, that's probably more of a... not, probably not, unless she has some ties to Freya, but it really looks like it could be Nora, scary,
and
possibly.
then we get this asshole.
Yeah. Jacques does this whole speech about pretty much how he'll make Atlas a better place.
Saying what Ironwood is pretty much borderline, the things he's doing is criminal.
Yeah, and let's face it, this
was fed from Watts.
Yes. Now, is Watts teaming with Jacques?
No.
Not exactly. He is using him. He is using him to make Atlas and Mantle as miserable.
A public puppet.
Pretty much, because what was Salem doing at the end of Volume 6? She was preparing a Grim army. What better way to get that Grim army to get to Atlas as quick as they can by feeding all this negative emotion?
And creating chaos.
Yes, pretty much creating anarchy.
And we see that he's apparently to him, non-essential SDC. He said he was forced to close him. No, he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He wasn't forced to do anything.
Yep, so this is costing people their jobs now. And I mean, this is pretty much just very heavy propaganda to get himself
and
votes.
Then taunting with, against Robin. Well, can she get your jobs back?
Yeah.
No, she can probably do a lot more with everything else.
Which makes me wonder what is going to be her retaliation. Because... And Winter even says, which goes to the name of the episode, that he's provided the spark that's going to set the kingdom on fire. Which, whoa, that is very heavy foreshadowing. Because we all know Atlas is going to fall.
Yeah, and at the very end, this is riots are starting.
Riots are starting in Mantle, which makes me wonder how it's going to be calmed down for the team to have any kind of downtime. Because the episode is even, I think it's called A Day Off or something like that.
Which I'm thinking...
I don't remember. I've only seen it once.
They'll probably have the day. Yeah. At the end of that episode, I'm predicting that they're going to get that call saying, report to Mantle.
Yeah.
That's probably how that's going to end, because it probably would take about the course of a day to really start getting all that Grim to come in.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the invasion's going to happen this volume. I think they're going to wait till Volume 8, because I just don't...
Well, I meant a mass amount of Grim, not those Grim.
But I meant Salem's Grim?
No, not Salem's Grim. I think that it would take a day for a mass amount of, the Grimm around the city
Yeah.
to start really causing damage.
Because that's like a...
That
that's
would be
like
their day off, and then by that
Yeah.
evening, they would get summoned.
Because what he just caused, that's like... now I totally get what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
what he just caused is going to be like a buffet of negative emotion for Grimm. So yeah, great episode. Like,
Yes.
a lot of stuff happened.
The beginning, I love it.
But once again, RWBY are building us up with feel good feelings for most of the episode, and then ending it on a foreboding tone, which you're more than likely right. That's probably what what chapter 6 is going to be. It's going to be a happy-go-lucky day off. We're going to get a lot of character interactions. Maybe
a talk.
Yeah, maybe finally Blake and Yang will have their talk. Maybe Ruby and Penny, more of that interaction. Maybe some more Weiss and Winter interaction. A Renora interaction. I don't know what John will be doing. Maybe some more talk between Oscar and Ironwood. But what they're going to do is it's going to be all sweet, all cute moments, and then the episode's going to end with Grimm invading Mantle because of what's going on and them having to go try and take care of it, which next week's episode is a shorter episode. It's only 16 minutes, the shortest episode of the volume so far, so...
There's still some things I want to see.
Yeah.
It's why.
Who knows when we'll ever see Zwei
I don't care
again.
if I see him just for a moment. I want to see Zwei. Or even the talk with Ty and Raven.
Yeah.
We would still see Zwei.
I don't know. Seems like at this point that'd be just like way too much of a... Oh, let's just throw this in. Because like it
it'd have to be the right moment for it, but...
Yeah, well, as of right now, I don't think it would have a point to happen as far as the story goes. Who knows when they're going to introduce Raven and all them again, because
How about some character art of that outfit?
So yeah, great episode. A lot happened. Like, some of it was way too fast to even, like, I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? Oh my gosh, what's that? So yeah, that's my prediction for next week. It's going to be a feel-good episode, and it's going to end with like a Grimm invasion, like not Salem's Grimm invasion, but like a bunch of sabers and all that going into Mantle because of all the negative emotions. So, which Jacques could use against Ironwood, which is part of Tyrion and Watts' plan.
Part of the problem is that Ironwood took so far into protecting just Atlas, and
it's scary because
all the security up there, they didn't update Mantles, and that's where Watts has his leg up there, is because the security, he can just disable it. He can do what he wants with it because he wrote it, apparently.
And it's scary because I'm so getting Volume 3 vibes because of the built-up tension. Because, like, all of Volume 3, they built up the tension to when things finally went bad. And so far this volume, they're doing it again. Now, if the fall does happen this volume, it'll be interesting to see what Volume 8 is like, because they did say Volume 7 and 8 are going to be interconnected, so that means at least another volume in Atlas. So it would be kind of interesting if the fall happens this volume, and then like an aftermath volume of them dealing with what happened in Volume 8. But I am kind of hoping they use this whole volume to build it up, and then shit hits the fan, Volume 8. Get ready for character deaths. Like, I've already said probably almost all the Aesops are going to die.
I'll cry if Marrow dies.
Because Ironwood might very likely die. There's still people saying Crow's gonna finally hit the bucket.
At this point, though, because especially with the
Robin could die.
Yes, but since
Maria could die.
I mean, there was always that fear that Crow would probably die, but now with Clover intertwined into this, things have changed a bit. So yeah. I don't think Crow would die.
No.
I really don't. It's the same thing also with Raven. And, I mean, if you also want to push the twin thing, usually in this world, it seems to play a little bit of a factor too, even though
I
they're
do
completely
think
different.
I do think Ruby's going to get kidnapped by Salem. I'm sorry, the Wizard of Oz parallel is just way too strong there. Her sending in the flying monkeys and all that, um, which makes you worry about Crow a little bit, because what did the monkeys do to the Scarecrow? They dismembered him.
But he still lived.
Yeah,
Was the point.
yeah, but there's really no way to dismember Crow and him live. So.
I don't think it's going to be in that sense, but
Maybe not. Ironwood, though, because he is part machine. Um, I'm just putting everybody in doom right now.
yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, the only ones that have plot armor are Team RWBY. They can be injured, but they can't die. Other characters, I mean, even Jean, Nora, and Ren don't exactly have plot armor, so something could happen to them. I still think that Jean is going to die at some point. I mean, Pyrrha died because... I mean, Pyrrha was based off Achilles. I knew she was going to die in Volume 3 big time. Jean is based off Joan of Arc, who burned to death at the stake. So I've got this headcanon that he is going to be trapped in a burning place. He can't get out. He accepts his fate, and then Pyrrha shows up and takes him away.
I would cry so hard if something like that happened.
I will scream, because it'll prove that my headcanon that they are also parallels to Romeo and Juliet. That they couldn't be together in life, but they could be together in death. If that happens, I will say that I am the one who came up with the Romeo and Juliet theory. But they're so... Like, I don't think they're going to kill Jean off anytime soon. But, it's just... God, there's so much that could happen this volume and next volume that could be bad. But anyway, next week, a day off. Finally, hopefully some one-on-one interaction. So, Oscar and Ironwood. Now, they probably can't fit this all in a 16-minute episode. But this is just some of the ones I would definitely like to see. Oscar and Ironwood. Maybe some more Crow and Clover. Or Crow runs into Robin and they talk. Because Erin did say that something happens in this volume that makes her ship Crow with somebody else. So everybody's assuming it's Robin. Maybe some Nora stuff. Maybe to introduce... Maybe start planting the seeds for Nora's backstory, maybe. Ruby and Penny. More Weiss and Winter. And please... give us the Bumblebee talk. It is way overdue. It's kind of been built in the last few episodes that the two do need to talk about their relationship. Because it's obvious with this episode as well that neither of them, also Weiss and Ruby, don't agree with what Harriet said.
Yeah.
So,
maybe a small team talk in their room?
Yeah, maybe. But, it needs to happen. Before things start to go haywire at the end of it. Well, that's really all the time we've got left. I've got to go to work here in about 6 minutes. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It wasn't as long as I thought, about as long as our usual ones. I just thought as many slides that she saved. Like, how many did you say? 68?
No, that was the first section.
Oh, okay.
It was like 126.
Yeah. But then again, we didn't
Some of them kind of fit one after the other, so they kind of got grouped together to be talked about. So.
But yeah, of course, we didn't talk in depth on every single slide, but there's a lot happened this episode. Like, whew, really good chunky episode.
I think maybe around Christmas or something, or when we get to the halfway point in the volume. Maybe we'll do an overall theory so far for this chapter and where things even connected from the past
during
week.
During the Christmas break.
We'll do that. Yes, we'll do that during the Christmas break. We'll make a video of all of our theories we've seen.
Because they always take they always take a Christmas break.
So we'll do that then, so that we have something.
Well, yeah, because we'll have to do something that week with there being no episode. Also, hopefully you've all watched till this very end. Let's Plays are coming. The earliest they will be January, sometime in January, because you guys got to remember, we work in retail. We work in a store that gets hit really hard during the
Christmas
holidays.
is coming.
Yeah, Christmas is coming. I work this whole week, so and that's probably what it's going to be like for most of December. So if content's a little slow, you'll know why.
Also, play a factor is weather. If we do start, we don't get a ton of snow, but if the wind and the temperatures start dropping and the wind gets really picking up, our internet connection will go in and out. So it will probably take a little bit for me to upload certain things, but on any chance we get, we're going to try to get some videos made so that way I can start uploading them should that happen once the weather starts getting colder.
Yeah. But yeah, Let's Plays will be here at the latest, starting in January. It's going to be its own little series. She's planning the title card. She's going to be doing the title card and all that. We'll release a trailer for it before they start.
We'll try to maybe get the first Let's Play out before OhioCon. Can't really promise that yet, but we'll try. Which that video for OhioCon alone is going to be very different on our reaction.
Yeah.
You won't see it on the screen, so it'll be different. But we'll try to get maybe one of those.
Unless we just decide to take all of our stuff with us.
If we can get a connection, we may actually do this. We'd probably have to do it. I don't know.
We can do it at our friend's house.
Yeah, we may be able to do it at a friend's house.
Before we head out to the con. But yeah, we don't want to miss that week because that's toward the end of the volume, and
we will actually probably be in cosplay because we'll have to get up and leave.
Yeah.
That's the competition day. So, but yeah, we're gonna try to get some more stuff up this week.
Yeah, because we're wanting to do we're definitely planning a RWBY ships video. It's pretty much going to be all the ships we like that are not Bumblebee.
We do have another story time video.
Yeah.
We've got a couple, but we do have one for this week. We're gonna try to record a couple so I can release one once a week.
Yeah. We've also got toward the end of this volume, we're probably going to do a Bumblebee video, seeing how things go.
We have a personal video.
Yeah, personal video.
We're still gathering everything for that one. So that one.
I finally finished Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I might do a review. I also want to do a video about my top 5 favorite games on the Nintendo Switch.
And we, depending on what we make next time, like next pay, we may be doing an unboxing.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you the box yet because our store just finally got one. So.
But yeah, that's a little future thing to go over. But if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like.
Leave us questions.
Yeah.
We need more questions to do a Q&A.
Yeah.
So you can leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Email us, anything. Leave us
or
questions.
ask us, or on Twitter.
Facebook, anything.
Yeah.
Questions.
But yeah, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. All of our links are in the description for Twitter, Facebook, Etsy, Square Store, or Patreon if you want to support the channel. We're getting very close to 100 subscribers, so
that's going to be. Then we're going to combine both giveaways at that point. Since we're rising so fast, we're going to do the 50 and the 100. So
yeah, but if you guys enjoyed it, like I said, do all that, share the video, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.